Okay, so moving on from the last video, this is finishing up the unit review for lesson 2. It's the entire first unit for 7th grade. So the cause of using the resources helps to affect what happens in the world. Too much of one resource hurts another. Okay, feel free to rewind, play that back as many times to be able to fill that in. When we're talking about energy and matter with technology, technology can help to use energy more efficiently. That means to use it in a better way. Technology can help to use energy more efficiently. Technology can help to use energy more efficiently in a better way. Technology, how does that contribute to stability and change? Technology can change the way that people live or keep it the same. Right? Technology has the ability to create a more stable life or also change the way that people have lived. When you're talking about a cause and effect of technology, how can technology create something that changes? So technology has the ability to solve problems that can affect a large group of people. So previously we wanted to be able to do research and be able to do research on our phones. So the technology has evolved to do that. And that's not just affecting me or you, that's affecting all of a human society that's able to buy one of those phones. Okay, so now this is the wooden pencil production. It is lumber, and then they groove them and create graphite. They cut the pencils, they ship the pencils, we use the pencils, we throw away the pencils once we've used them too much, and then they're hard to recycle, but they could be recycled. Identify one effect of each step that it might have on the society. So the first step, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, because this is one step. So the first step is taking the graphite and lumber from the natural resource, from the natural place that it is found. This can hurt the environment because it takes away oxygen and minerals. Okay, the second step is to put the pencil, wood, and graphite together. This can affect society because it makes it easier to write with, to have the graphite surrounded by wood. Right? If it was just graphite you're trying to write with, it would get all over your fingers. Okay? The shipping hurts the environment because the gas, and that's the third step. The third step of shipping hurts the environment because the gas pollutes the air. The using of the pencil is the fourth step, and that helps society because students can answer questions and learn through using the pencil. Right? You can learn a lot, you can write a lot, you can do a lot of different things if you have a pencil. The last step of throwing away the pencil is hurting the environment because it cannot easily, what does it say? It cannot easily be separated and recycled. Be separated and recycled. Okay, so you can pause because that's a lot to write down. It's basically a huge paragraph. I'm going to move on from there. You can always rewind as well. What are the inputs of the production stage? So here's the production, they're inputting. So the input is the lumber and the graphite. The input is the lumber and the graphite. The output is like what happens when you put those together. So the output is the pencil. Okay, so how would decreasing, like how would taking out all the outputs of the forests or the graphite, so decrease in pencils, how would that affect the input and output? So using less lumber and graphite means that there will be less pencils. It means that there's less harm to the environment, but pencils will be harder to find and more expensive. Kind of the example of a trade-off is what you're giving. So if we don't use as much lumber and graphite, the cycle and the ecosystems and the natural resources will benefit because we're not taking things out of the environment, but it's just going to be harder to get a pencil and find a pencil, which means it will be more expensive. Pencil is a device that has been improved over time through the engineering design process. How does that satisfy criteria and constraints of a writing tool, and how do you think it could be improved? Okay, a pencil has the criteria of putting words onto paper, right? It can be held without anything transferring onto the person's hand. It could be improved because sometimes it hurts the hand to use a pencil. So instead, it would be nice to have a material that is not as hard on the fingers. So here's the whole design process for planning and designing a website. How is this similar to the engineering design process? So the person has a question and idea about a design or a problem. Both when they are engineering and web designing. They also solve the problem, model, and test together. These are all similarities. The difference between web designing and engineering processes. You see here there's like a support area. That's more like the research, but the rest is there. But after testing, usually you just actually continue through. It's not about having support and recycling. So the difference between the web design and engineering processes is that the web designing has specific launches and support after. The support happens beforehand with engineering designs, and there's no launch. You don't typically launch an engineering design, it's just there. At what stage in the web design process are they going to likely return to planning with feedback for design improvement? So they create a design, they develop it, they test it, and then look, there's this thing called redesign right here. So I'm going to say after they test it, because there's 2 arrows going back, right? And those are the only arrows going back. So it must happen after testing. After testing, the web design team might go back and improve the website because they tested and found the errors in the website. What stage most closely represents that? We said the testing stage. What stage is closely showing where the solution is implemented? Okay, that's the launch. The solution actually being implemented for engineering is most like the launch. They officially decided on that. The engineering process and the web process both require design teams. Why do the design process involve multiple tests? There are multiple tests because they can find many different errors. This is why they have to test their designs until they have the best product with acceptable trade-offs. Right? It has to be something where it's the best product they can possibly do, even after all of this testing, and that the trade-off, whether it's more expensive or cheaper, if that's worth having because it has so many good solutions. Okay. The performance task is just saying which one is better. Water filtering solution for a village. They can't drink it because it's contaminated. So there's this design right here where they pull from a tank and removes the bacteria. So we can do the unit performance sheet right here, conduct the research. And this is the steps that will define that. So we can do a different video for the solution.